This is Camping with Wade's RV on 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's News and Talk. Your RV guide for Oklahoma and beyond. Give us a call at 918-460-KRMG. Now, let's hit the road.
Good afternoon and welcome to Camping with Wade's RV. This is 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's News and Talk. My name is Skyler Cooper. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Willy D is out on location again today. He's all over town when we're doing the show. Last week, out at the rodeo, and it sounds like you had a great time, Willy D.
I had an absolutely fabulous time. If you have not been to Cavalcade, you do not know what you're missing. This is one heck of a rodeo. There is usually, I go to a lot of different rodeos and there might be, 50 contestants, usually maybe a little bit give or take here and there. At Cavalcade, there's about 1,500 to 2,000 different contestants. So for one, there's a lot of people there, but then number two, there's a lot of different events. So I got to learn a little bit about wild cow milking. I had never heard of that before or ever seen that before, and that was quite an event. And then I actually got to participate myself in the wild horse race. Steve was talking a little bit about that last week, and what happens with the wild horse race is they put a horse inside the buck and chute. They let it go. You have a 3-man team, and your job is to wrangle this wild horse, put a saddle on it, and run it to the other side of the arena. So it sounds easy, but it's just not quite that simple. So if you're looking to see exactly what these are events about, go ahead, Google them, YouTube them. You're going to be shocked by how tough these events are. I thought bull riding was, the toughest on dirt. I don't know. People might need to reevaluate that and check out some of this wild horse racing. But overall, we had a great time. I was out there with G Money Rodeo Company. They taught me so much. I could probably write a book about everything I learned. We got to hang out there for a couple different days. Great concerts, great RVs out there. We had that 2015 Raptor out there, and then we also had the 2018 Kodiak. So if you're interested in those units that we took out there, they are back on the lot and available for sale. And if you were like me, then you're going to like both of them. That Raptor is totally decked out. It has a full party deck on the back. It's a triple axle toy hauler, has a huge master bedroom with an actual king size bed. And then it has a really great living room area and a full size fridge. So it has just about every option you'd want. And of course, it has outdoor entertainment. You can't be going out in a big toy hauler without some of that outdoor entertainment. 2 big awnings on it. And then that Kodiak was just great. That's what I actually stayed in. It's got 2 bunks in the back. It's got a really nice bathroom area that gives you lots of space. It's got a great shower in there. And then it also has a couch and a dinette booth in the super slide. And then your normal queen size bed up front. And it has an outdoor kitchen to make sure that, once again, you can have some outdoor entertainment and really just have everyone around your campsite and enjoy your time together. So we had a great time out at Cavalcade, and I had such a good time. I'm actually going to another rodeo this weekend with G Money. This weekend, I'm doing a ranch bronc, though. So it's going to be a little bit different, but all the same, and it's going to be a good, fun time as well.
A little bit later on Camping with Wade's RV, we're going to talk about a new product, and you gave me a little bit of a heads up on this yesterday. It's a new Newmar, and gosh, it's one of the most beautiful coaches I've ever seen. I'm tabbing through the photos right now. Oh man, I keep seeing more things that are just amazing. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. And yeah, if you missed last week's show, go back and check out that podcast. We had a lot of great interviews with the folks out there from G Money who are operating that rodeo, and it's on our podcast on the KRMG app or krmg.com. You can find that there. Any questions about RVs or camping? If you have a technical question, like you don't know how to get something fixed or you want to get into camping, get a hold of us. You can call us at 918-460-KRMG, 460-5764 by phone. We have open lines right now. And Willy D, we have a new text number today. So if people need to get a hold of us by text message, they'd like to send us a picture or ask questions, our new number is 70123. Text KRMG and then whatever you want to say to 70123. And that's the hitch. You got to put KRMG at the front and then whatever you want to say. And that number again is 70123. So Willy D, this Newmar, tell me about it. I mean, this thing is amazing.
Yeah, this Newmar is an incredible coach. The Newmar that we had come in is called a New Air, and so it is classified into that luxury brand of Newmar. And the model that we have on that one it's a 3543, and it's a beautiful coach. As you said, it's probably one of the prettiest coaches I have ever seen in my entire life. What I like is that it actually has that white, I'm going to call it a white pearl interior, and it has all the accent lighting within the actual slide itself. It has accent lighting up on the roof. I mean, this thing just shimmies. and sparkles. And I mean, it is just awesome. So if you don't know what this is, get on our Wade's website and check it out, or you can come on out to Wade's. We have it plugged in. It's got nice AC going on right now. So it's going to be nice and cool over at Wade's RV. We've done lots of improvements to improve your shopping experience, but this is just a really, really great coach. There's tons of features on it too. Just a couple of these features. It has heated floors. It has a full stone shower, which, you know, that sounds pretty common whenever you're talking about houses, but whenever you're talking about RVs, typically an RV shower is going to be a plastic basin with almost like wallpaper around it, or it's going to be a fiberglass shower. This is full stone tile. I mean, this is just like what you have in your house. So it's full of luxury. And the furniture, a lot of RV furniture, it has leather or pleather. This is real full grain. I mean, this is really top-notch stuff. So it even just has a different feel for it. One of my favorite features, I love big engines, and this thing has a Cummins 450 horsepower engine in it. And this coach is only about 35 foot long. So that's the same engine that they put in big 45-foot buses. So this thing is really, really going to take you down the road. And with it being so short, it's very maneuverable as well. So it makes it really, really handy. And it has lots of great features. There's a feature on it called the Comfort Steer, which basically it's an electronic assist that works with the power steering system. So whenever you're going down the road, it's going to be able to adapt very, very easily to what you're doing and what's happening.
It's Camping with Wade's RV on 102.3 KRMG. Sounds like there you are. Hey, Willie D, you dropped out for a second.
Oh, okay. Well, what I was talking about was the Comfort Steer. So back whenever I was riding on the school buses, I've never actually driven a school bus, but the bus driver was always moving the steering wheel back and forth, and then
Yeah, we're going to have some issues with his connection today. Sounds like if we get Willie D back, we'll let us know. And remember, you can text us if you have questions for camping. The new number is 70123. Text KRMG to text KRMG and then the message. You have to put that at the front. And then the number is 70123. So that Newmar that he's talking about, I've got it pulled up on my phone. He texted me the link to it yesterday. You can find it at wadesrv.com. 2021 Newmar New Air 3543. And that thing is absolutely amazing. So if you want to check that out, there's a lot of pictures and there's a lot of cool things I want to ask Willie D about, but we'll take a break.
And for the benefit of the listeners, we're still in the COVID thing, and
right.
We're not together. So, a lot of times we forget to say that, and it's like Willie D is out there, and everybody in the talk shows are really separated. It's so it's a unique experience. So we're slaves of the technology.
I hear him back now. So Willie D, you're out on a different location today, and using the smartphone app that we use to connect you in, it can sometimes drop out. Where are you again before we had to break?
So I'm actually in Broken.
It's funny that it cut out on the word broken. So Broken Arrow, he's doing a Blue Star Mothers thing today, and we'll talk more about that when we return. Maybe I'll be here. It's Camping with Wade's RV on KRMG.
Camping with Wade's RV every Saturday at noon on 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's News and Talk.
Welcome back. It's Camping with Wade's RV. You're listening to KRMG. I'm Skyler Cooper along with Willie D. Apologies for the tech issues in the first segment there, but we've got Willie D on a really strong modern phone line now. So we're going to stick with that, and he'll be joining us live from Broken Arrow. You're out at Blue Star Mothers, Willie D?
That's exactly right. So I do have super strong service on that hardcore phone line. So we are doing all right, and we are trucking along here. But, yes, I'm actually live out here in Broken Arrow, and I'm at the Blue Star Mothers. And these ladies are incredible. I've been hanging out with them all morning, helping them with some boxes, and learning about some of the needs that they have. The pandemic's been going on, and there's just been so many different things in society that have been happening. It's often easy to forget about other things that are happening around the world. And what the Blue Star Mothers do, there's two things. For one, they're a support group for the mothers, grandmothers, or any of the wives or anything like that of the servicemen that are deployed or veterans themselves. So they're a really, really great support system. I was talking to Susan, and her son, whenever he joined, he said, "Mom, you need to join. You need something to do. You need to be around some folks." And so it's a really, really great sisterhood that they have and they brought together. But then they also send supplies over to our troops overseas. So it's very, very important. And I was going through and looking at some of the supplies, and it was stuff that I wouldn't necessarily have thought of right off the top of my head. One thing that I was kind of, cracking jokes about is they said, "Hey, if you have those extra packets from McDonald's of those ketchup packets, bring them in. Because whenever you're over there, you don't have those sort of packets. And you don't have those jellies and those jams and the taco sauces from Taco Bell and things of that nature." So there's a lot of things that day to day we take for granted. Deodorant, toilet paper, toothbrushes, toothpaste, Another thing that they said was comics. So if you read your newspaper and you have the comic section in there, save it and then bring it on to the Blue Star Mothers, and they can put those in a box, and they send those overseas to troops all over the world. So it just brightens their day, and it really helps them out and puts a smile on their face, and it's a little bit of encouragement. So these mothers are out there, and they are just really doing a great work out in the community and helping people all over the world. So I've been hanging out with them, and the reason why is because on August 15th, the Blue Star Mothers are going to be out at Wade's RV, and if you want to bring supplies by, please do. These ladies are in desperate need of some of these supplies because people have just been doing other things. You know, a lot of their fundraisers are public events. And guess what? Due to the pandemic, there has not been public events. And so they are really low on some of these supplies, and they've been having to dip into their savings and going out and getting it themselves. So if you have any of these things sitting around the house, or if you're at the grocery store, please, please, please get an extra thing of, toothpaste or toothbrushes or baby wipes. There's tons of different things. And if you go on their website, they actually have a list of their most needed items. I believe it's a list of about 40 different products that they are in desperate need of. So if you can help them out in any way, and, money's always good too. You know what they always say, cash is king. It costs about $50 to make each one of these boxes and ship it overseas. So we are teaming up with them. They're going to be out at Wade's RV August 15th once again. So if you want to meet them or get involved, come on by and see exactly what it's about. But the great thing as well, I was really excited when Wade came and got me this week, and he said, we need to get in touch with those Blue Star Mothers and make sure they're doing all right. And so what Wade is personally doing, Wade Reeves, he is every RV that you purchase from Wade's RV from now until August 15th, he's going to give a portion of that sale over to the Blue Star Mothers. So that way we can really help them out in every single way possible. There's been lots of different people in the community that have partnered with us. So that way we can get these supplies over to them and making sure they're taken care of. And it's just been really, really great. And it's really been cool to see exactly the work that they do.
I never thought about some of those interesting kind of off-the-cuff things that they might need, like the ketchup packets or hot sauces, those kind of things. That makes great sense. But what are some of the day-to-day things people could donate?
Well, right now, due to the heat, do not bring chocolate. That is a bad idea. But you can bring hard candy. That was something I thought was interesting. Easy macaroni and cheese that you can stick in the microwave with those packets. That's always, and always some Band-Aids, eye wash, things of that nature, just your day-to-day toiletries and stuff. That's always great. I love peanuts and nuts myself, so you can always grab there, or if you're flying around on the airplane, grab your extra peanut packet and bring it on to those ladies, because there's always something they can do. One thing I thought was really cool, if you do have kids and they've been locked inside the house and you're looking for something to do, you can go get one of the boxes that the Blue Star Mothers use, and they're free at the post office. You can get that, and you can bring it home and have your kids draw on that box and leave an encouraging message, or leave a nice little drawing, so then those soldiers can get that and they see it, and it's just an extra little thing to add a smile to their face. So there's lots of different things that you can do if you want to get involved. If you do have questions about getting involved, you can always call us up at Wade's RV, 918-291-1011, or come by to either one of our locations, and we can get you in touch with those ladies, or just tell you exactly what we need to make sure that we can get those ladies back up to their supplies that they need, and make sure that they're helping out those troops that are helping us while we're at home.
It's Camping with Wade's RV, and you just heard him give that number. If you have questions that you want to call them in the dealership and get a hold of, it's 918-291-1011. If you want to get a hold of us right here on this show every Saturday from noon until 1, it's 918-460-KRMG, 460-5764. And we'd love to take your questions on anything related to camping and RVs. Willy D is the encyclopedia of camping knowledge, and if there's something wrong with your RV, he's probably going to be able to tell you how to fix it, or at least who you need to ask and what the right path would be to get that going. And Willy D, along those lines, I know that you want to talk about the customer experience at Wade's RV, and I want to start with a story for you because it reminded me of you guys. When I deal with, I used to work in customer service. I did retail for 5 years, and while I don't miss it, I still hold some of those values that I learned. And it was, the customer experience is kind of everything if you want people to come back and you want to have a good reputation. And about a year ago, me and my girlfriend, Tessa, had a very bad experience with a business, and we decided just never again will we return, even though we kind of need that business. So we went to a different, similar business this week, today actually, to further our relationship with this company at a different location. And we just kind of had to say, look, we were across town and it was terrible. So we're here now. And it turns out one of the people that worked at the other place now works at this place. And we were like, oh, no, this is terrible. But I know that you you guys have people who have worked at other RV dealerships, and they're not the bad people. They're the people who decide they want to come work at Wade's RV. Why is it that everyone kind of gravitates toward Wade's when it comes to not just your customers, but your employees?
Well, the secret is out. I am one of those converts. So the reason I came over to Wade's RV myself was it was a great opportunity, and it's Wade. I was over at the store today, and guess what that man was doing? He was outside welding on a unit. I was driving by, and he's got his mask on, and I go, I think that's Wade. And, I turned back around, and sure enough, it was. So one big thing was, for me, our facilities, and then the man himself that's running it. If there's a guy out there who's working in the shop, getting in the dirt, that's kind of a guy I want to work for, because that's exactly what I'm doing. But then secondly, it was the facilities and the products. So we have so many different products. We have the top brands of RVs that you're looking for. So you don't need to go all around town looking for this and this brand of the best of the best. We got it all. You can go different places and you can find stuff that is, missing a feature or maybe not built quite as well. It may not have, it may have a back wall, but have you touched the back wall? Does it actually have supports in it? You'd be surprised if you go around and start feeling those. Not all RVs are actually created equally. So the products, the people, and the facilities. And talking about facilities, we have finished those concrete pads that we have up front at Wade's RV, and these things are incredible. So they've been working the last couple weeks on this, and they finally got them all finished off, and we moved RVs on it. And so what does that mean? Yeah, we have concrete, but what this really means is that your shopping experience is going to go through the roof. So if you're looking at, our fifth wheels or our motorhomes, it's typically what we keep on the front line. You're going to have power to that unit. So that means whenever you're coming over to Wade's RV today, it's 93 degrees out there, folks. It's a little toasty. We're going to have all of those cooled down for you and ready to go. And more importantly, they're going to be lit up so you can actually see all the features and you can see exactly what that coach has to offer, and you can use it. It's pretty cool. If you want to see the awning go out, we can click a button. It can go out. Before, what you would be experiencing is you'd be going around looking at these great products. For one, most of the time it'd be dark because there wasn't any power to it. So it's kind of like walking in a dark house and trying to buy it. It's not very easy. And then number two, it was toasty. It was really, really warm. And so whenever we have that AC turned on, it's going to make it so, so nice.
Need to take a quick break. You're listening to Camping with Wade's RV. We'll take a break for the news and that hot forecast Willy D was just talking about with Burt Williams in the 24-hour Fox News Center. And Willy D has a story about a customer calling in panic while camping. This is the kind of thing they do. I'm going to find out how he rescued them when we come back. It's Camping with Wade's RV.
This is Camping with Wade's RV on 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's News and Talk.
Welcome back to Camping with Wade's RV. Skyler Cooper along with Willy D, who's live today at Broken Arrow Blue Star Mothers. And a quick reminder before we get into Willy D's rescue story for this week. I know you have to do that quite a bit. We want to remind folks why you're out there at Blue Star Mothers and about your event coming up next month.
So I'm out at the Blue Star Mothers for a couple different reasons. For one, I wanted to lend a hand, and I always love visiting these ladies. Miss Janet's always up there, and Miss Susan, she's always up there, and they are just super, super helpful and super, super nice folks. So I wanted to go up there, pack a couple boxes, and then I really wanted to check in and see what these ladies needed. Right now, due to the pandemic, they just have not been getting the donations. They have not been able to go out to their events, and so these ladies are in desperate need of supplies like Band-Aids, toothbrushes, toothpaste, easy mac and cheese, sauce packets, things of that nature. And we're going to be having an event at Wade's RV for these great ladies and this great cause on August 15th. So you can come on out here. You can come meet them. You can check out some RVs if you want. And if you're in the market for an RV, you got to come out to Wade's RV. That's what everyone's doing right now, because if you buy an RV from Wade's RV, Wade will donate a portion of that RV sale over to the Blue Star Mothers. So it's a really, really great cause to stand behind. Why would you buy an RV from anywhere else? Come on over to the pros. We're going to take care of you, and it's going to a great cause. So why not get an RV, get out, and enjoy the great weather that we're having? It's a little warm, but guess what? Go out to the lake, jump in, and cool off and have a great time. Bring your family out there. You're going to be creating lasting memories, and like we say at Wade's RV, turning those miles into memories.
If you have a question for the show, want to know anything about how to fix your RV or want to get into some RVing, any questions for camping and RVs, Willy D's the guy. You can get a hold of us at 918-460-KRMG, 918-460-5764. You can also text KRMG and then whatever you want to say to 70123. Make sure you put KRMG at the front and then your question to 70123. Or I tell you what, it's real easy to use the KRMG app. and hit that open mic button, and you can just talk to us, and we'll get your question on the air that way. And Willy D, you have a bit of a routine now. You make a lot of deliveries, and you have a lot of adventures while you're out there on the road. And some of those adventures include people who have dealt with you in the past, and they think, man, when I need help and I'm camping, I call Willy D. And that has happened again. What's going on this time?
So, well, there's always different things. I always tell every customer that walks in the door, if you got a problem and you can't get a hold of someone, call me. I give everyone my cell phone number because the most important thing at Wade's RV is customer service. I hear it all the time. People will go into a place and they go and they buy something, and then it's just see you later. You're out the door. You're just a thought of the past, and you're just a number. That's not the case at Wade's. You're part of the Wade's RV family, so we want to make sure we take care of you like family. And this week we had a customer who called in. They were having some problems with their RV. It's been their first RV that they ever purchased. So, there's a little bit of a learning curve with it. And there's also, you got to adapt and overcome. And there's just different problems that happen when you're out there on the road. So they called us, and we have been troubleshooting. We got them to where the RV has been cooling down. So it's not just super, super hot out there. But, we wanted to get them fixed fast. It was their RV. They just got it. And if you go to many RV places, you might be waiting around for a month or two before you get your RV. If I bought an RV and I couldn't use it for a month or two, I'd be pretty upset. So what we do at Wade's RV is, so this happened, they're having some problems. We obviously need to get it looked at. I talked to Wade and I said, hey, we got a problem right here. He's usually in the shop, so he's not getting the phone calls. But I said, hey, we have a problem right here. We have some customers that need taken care of. When is the soonest we can get them in? He goes, tomorrow morning. And so we could actually get them worked on faster than they could even get to Wade's RV, which is an incredible thing. But we're just really, really focused on them. So we wanted to get them in. We wanted to get them in fast, and we wanted to get them fixed, because whenever you're getting something fixed, you don't want to be taking it into the shop 4 or 5 different times to get different things fixed. We want to fix it right the first time. So at Wade's RV, we have master certified technicians that are working on your units. We have the right tools, and we have the right equipment that we need. I mean, we can lift a full bus up into the air to get it worked on. So they called me. We were able to get them in. They're actually coming in on Monday morning, first thing, and we're going to throw that unit right into a shop bay, and we're going to see why it's not cooling down. That way they can go out next weekend and go camping, because that's what it's all about, is whenever you come out to Wade's RV, we love trailers, and we like working on them, but we love camping. That is what we do. I was out camping last weekend. I'm going to be camping this weekend. It's going to be an absolutely great time, and people love it, as we've seen with the rise in RVing. It's the summer of the RV, so if you don't have one, come on out and see us, because you don't want to be left behind this summer while all your friends are having such a good time exploring all over Oklahoma.
That is a really important point that you're making about that after the sale thing, or just service, because how many of us have made a call to any kind of business and you're thinking, gosh, it's going to be, who knows what I'm about to get into. You're dialing the number and you're going, this is going to take forever and it's going to be a pain. And if you've ever had that good experience because you're expecting the bad and you go, oh, well, that was awesome. I wasn't really thinking it would be that easy. That's the goal for you guys every time, right? Is to have that good experience.
Absolutely. My favorite message whenever I'm dropping off these campers, as we said, I do a lot of deliveries. I think I did 2 or 3 this week. But my favorite message is I always send Wade, or as we call him at the store, Daddy-O, I always send him a message, and it says, happy campers. And, that's what we're looking for every time, is we want you to be a happy camper. So we want to make sure you're out in your unit. We want to make sure you're happy and happy with the experience. And if for some reason you're not, I can't necessarily be around every single customer, and Wade can't either. Let us know, because we want to make it right with you, because that is our main focus. We had a new gentleman that started at Wade's, and he told someone, hey, it was going to be a week or 2 just based on where the service thing was. And that's not, he wasn't familiar with the Wade's RV policies, where if you got a problem, we're going to get you in and we're going to get you fixed quick. And so I was able to go ahead and rectify that and get him and get that customer taken care of, because, that's just what we're about, is making sure you're satisfied before, after, and during the sale. Whenever you walk into Wade's RV, you're going to be met with a smiling face. Miss Stephanie is usually right up at the front, and she just is super, super welcoming. And there's no way you can't walk past her without having a smile, because she's just so bubbly. But we want to make sure from the moment you walk in to the moment you walk out the door and forever afterwards that you're taken care of, and that, it's a positive experience coming into Wade's RV, because there is so many negative experiences out there. That's the last thing we want. We want it to be a nice place. And I have to say, there is a lot of people that just hang out at Wade's RV. So there must be something that they're liking. So you can always come on by. We have lots of different camping resources. So if you're looking for different camping spots to go to, we have lots of different books and stuff that can tell you about that. And then we also have tons of different parts and things. So if you spend about 5 to 10 minutes in our parts store, you are a strong person if you don't walk out with something, because they have tons and tons of cool stuff, everything from faucets to lights, just to, normal repair stuff like Dicor, things of that nature. We have just a little bit of it all. And so if you want to come out and you need some parts or anything, just come on out to Wade's RV and we will treat you right the first time. It's not going to be something that you got to, hey, I had a problem. No, we're going to make it right the first time. And, we have the best products, we have the best selection, and we have the best people working on these things. So, we're the place to go.
You call Big Wade Daddy-O. I know that's the nickname. How did you get to be called Mr. Okie?
Well, I started being called Mr. Okie, I guess, this week because I got to meet this really great family. I have a little bit of a horse ranch, and so they're going to bring their horses out there and start boarding with me. And I was telling them about all the great things that Oklahoma has to offer. I'm a little bit of a nerd of camping, and I love the Oklahoma State Park, so I have to tell just about everyone I come in contact about these two things. And so we were talking about the Oklahoma State Parks, and they were like, oh, we didn't know about this. We didn't know about this. And hook up your horse trailer and go out to those state parks because there's equestrian trails. You go to different parts of different Oklahoma and everything has different scenery. And so I was just really loading them up with information, telling them about all the horse shows that we have in Tulsa and just how much of a great state that we have and all the different things we have to offer. And they were just blown away. They had no idea about this stuff. And I find that oftentimes whenever people come into Wade's RV and they ask me for, hey, where should I go camping? And they think there's only like one or two spots. And I'm like, no, there's, hundreds and hundreds of different spots. And the real question is, where do you want to go and what do you want to do? I know you love Little Sahara out there, so you can rip up on those ATVs and stuff. And I told them out there, I said, if you go out there to that panhandle and to that western part of the state, you're going to see some of those sand dunes and the deserts. You go down to the southern part of the state, kind of over there by Robbers Cave and stuff. It's going to be a little bit greener. You got those caves, and then you go over to green country, and there's a little bit of everything within 20 miles of green country. So I always love that myself, and there's just a little bit of everything in the state. And so I was telling them, hey, you got to check out these state parks. For one, you got to download that Oklahoma State Park app. That is one of the best things they have come out with in years. You can reserve camping spots. You can also, look at your trails and see exactly where your map is and different things like that. So you're never going to be lost.
That sounds like a really good advice. And that is a cool app, by the way. If you don't have it, we talked about it in depth a number of weeks ago, and it's really helpful for campers. Need to take a break? You're listening to Camping with Wade's RV on KRMG. Willy D out at Blue Star Mothers in Broken Arrow today, and we'll get a recap of that before we wind up the show. And more Camping with Wade's RV right after this on 102.3 KRMG.
You're listening to Camping with Wade's RV on 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's News and Talk.
Welcome back. It is Camping with Wade's RV on 102.3 KRMG, Tulsa's News and Talk. Skyler Cooper along with Willy D. And we talked a little bit in the last segment about some of your delivery stuff, and I think I love the new term you're giving it, Willy D's Delivery Diaries. We'll talk a little bit about that before we wrap up the show, but let's remind folks where you are today. Broken Arrow, Blue Star Mothers, which is a bit of a tongue twister for this Oklahoman, but we'll get through there, and then remind us what you're doing out there and what people can do to help.
So I'm out at the Blue Star Mothers. I'm going to be out here just a little bit longer, and then I'm going back out to Wade's RV, and I'm going to be out at the 161st location. But I'm out here at the Blue Star Mothers helping them pack some bags and helping them raise some awareness and get some supplies out there because they are in desperate need of supplies for those troops overseas. They give them lots of necessities that a lot of people take for granted. Me, I didn't even think about Taco Bell sauce, but hey, I am a fan. So I would love if I, would have been sent that or something of that nature. So they have lots of different great things that they're doing. And they're also there to help support the mothers. So if you're a mother and you have someone, you have a son or a daughter that's deployed or a grandparent and, you have a grandchild that's deployed and you want to help these folks, come on out and you can get involved with them, either packing boxes or raising monetary support or just helping out with different fundraisers and things that they can do. These ladies will put you to work. They are not lazy whatsoever. And so they're out there, and it's a really, really great cause, like I was saying. And so if you want to come out, we're having an event on August 15th, and so you can learn a little bit more about what they do, bring some of the supplies like toothpaste, toothbrushes, ramen, socks. There's lots of different things. If you go on their website, the Blue Star Mothers, it has a list of all the different things that they're in desperate need of, so you can participate yourself. And if you want to come out to Wade's RV, we have lots of RVs out here. There's a lot of folks that do not have inventory in town, but Wade's RV does. We have travel trailers. We have fifth wheels. We have motorhomes. And not only that, I have A's, B's, and C motorhomes. So I have just a little bit of it all. So if you're looking for an RV, don't be going all around town. Come to Wade's RV because we have what you're looking for. So come on out here. We have lots of great units, and we have lots of great deals to be made. And if you're looking to support the great cause and you're looking for an RV, come on out. I mean, there's just so many reasons to come out to Wade's RV because right now, every RV that is purchased from now until August 15th, a portion of that RV is going to go to the Blue Star Mothers. So Wade has said, hey, I want to get behind these folks. It's a great cause. And so he's going to give a portion of each RV sold over to the Blue Star Mothers so we can help them out and make sure they get all the supplies that they're needing and make sure that our troops are taken care of. We're here at home, and there's a lot of things that are going on here at home, but those men and women are over there fighting for our freedom, so we need to take care of them.
Time for Willy D's Delivery Diaries. On this week's edition of Camping with Wade's RV on 102.3 KRMG Tulsa's News and Talk, I'm Skyler Cooper with Willy D. And if there's a guy that knows a lot about hooking up and taking an RV out for delivery or just going somewhere to use it camping, it's Willy D, because he does it almost weekly. Weekly. That's safe to say, right? I mean, there's not a week goes by you're not hooking up an RV or grabbing a coach and hitting the road. So if you have questions or need some pointers, he's your guy. Let's start it out with some of the basics, Willy D. What's a quick 1, 2, 3, 4 step-by-step guide people need to do if they're going to be getting in an RV and going?
There's a couple different things that I look for, and I know I can't, I was thinking like we need a little segment because actually it's about every day that I'm delivering an RV or taking one somewhere to help out one of our customers. So, it's something I do, and there's always a story with it. Let me put it that way. But what I would say, there's a couple different tips that you always should check for, and some people don't, they go outside, they look at their trailer like, oh, yeah, we can just pull this down the road. And not necessarily the case. One thing I always recommend people do is check your tire pressure. A lot of times RVs sit for a little bit of time, and so the tire pressure can go down. If it's warm one day and cold the next, that is going to affect those tires unless you have nitrogen filled. So always check your tire pressure. You never know if you drove over a nail or a screw or something like that. Always check the tire pressure. But secondly, if you've had your RV for a couple years, check the date on the tires. I had a customer, and bless their heart, I went to go pick up a unit, and the tire had wire sticking out of it, so that's not safe to drive. So they went ahead and they got me a spare tire. Well, problem with said spare tire, it was 10 years old, which you're supposed to swap your tires every 6 years or so. And so this tire was well past its life expectancy. And so we were able to just get just barely enough air in there. And I was able to nurse it back to Wade's RV, but I am shocked that it made it. But you always want to check those dates because whenever you're going on your vacation, I don't know about you, but I don't like flat tires. So you want to make sure that you can avoid that. Number 2, always check your trailer connection. There is different hitch sizes. So if you have a travel trailer, make sure if you're pulling, most of the time it's a 2 5/16 ball. A lot of normal trailers are just 2-inch. Make sure you're using the right hitch and make sure it's locked down. Very, very important because if not, that thing can come off and it's very, very dangerous. So make sure your connection is, fully connected. And one thing I always do is I always put a safety pin, whether it's a fifth wheel or it's a travel trailer, always put a safety pin in that connection. It's just an extra little safety tip. And then always check your lights and your brakes. If you don't have trailer brakes, you're going to have some problems stopping. And that is very, very important. There's a reason you have brakes. You got to stop. Newton's law of motion, you got to stop. And so always check your brakes and your lights. And so if you are checking with your lights and stuff, a lot of times you'll find out if you do have a trailer brake problem when you're going through that test. So go through, check your turn signals, check your cautions, your brake lights, all that sort of stuff. So you're going to be safe going down the road all that sort of thing.
Willy D, I saw a guy the other day. It wasn't a camper, but just some, flatbed trailer. The turn signal worked, except it was backwards. So he was trying to get in the right lane and his left turn signal came on. So even if something's wired, it might be backwards.
Correct. Mistakes. We are humans, and last time I checked, humans do make mistakes. I make a few every single day, actually. And so you want to make sure that you check those and make sure it's wired right because, people need to know where you're going. If you're turning right and someone sees left, they're going to think you're going left. So you want to make sure that it's safe for you and safe for everyone around you as well. So always be cautious about that. With anything camper-wise, it's all about maintenance and preparation. So if you're preparing and you take care of your camper, you're probably not going to have any problems. I would say almost 99% of the time when people come in and they, have a very, very big problem, a lot of it can be traced back to user error or lack of maintenance. So if you do have any questions whatsoever about when tires need change, when you need to winterize, when you need to flush, or how to do this stuff, give us a call at Wade's RV. We are the RV professionals, and our number is 918-291-1011, or check out our website at wadesrv.com, and you can always come in and see us at our 2 different locations. We have 161st and 121st, and we can take care of anything that you have wrong with your RV. It's incredible.
Willy D, thanks so much. Have a great time out there. Go see Willy D at Broken Arrow Blue Star Mothers today, and go see them at Wade's RV on August 15th. Anything you buy, they're going to, or you buy an RV out there, they're going to donate a portion of that to Blue Star Mothers on August 15th. Buy it today, they'll do that too, anytime between now and then. We'll talk to you next week. It's Camping with Wade's RV on 102.3 KRMG.